Here's tonight's 9 at 9. Here at home, the victim of a deadly early morning shooting has been identified as a former standout Madison High School football player. Aiden Hoffman was on Christmas break from his freshman year in college. San Antonio police were called out to O'Connor Road near Nacogdoches at around 12:30 a.m. Officers say Hoffman crashed his car into a curb and barrier. He had a bullet wound to his upper body. He was sent to the hospital where he later died. In Australia, no sign of relief as several wildfires continue to burn across the region. Helicopters have been deployed to pour water on the fires, but officials have been saying for weeks that the fires are too big to put out, and the best hope is for rain and weather conditions to ease up.
The political backlash against the government for how it's handled this crisis has been strong. The Prime Minister criticized for his vacation in Hawaii as the fires raged and for downplaying the role of climate change in the heat wave that has exacerbated conditions.
New Year's fireworks have been canceled across much of the country.
Well, today, Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar confirmed he has ordered a full audit of current employees to make sure all background checks are accurate.
This after a civilian employee was arrested for a shooting that happened on Saturday.
Andrew Ramos is accused of shooting a relative at a strip mall. While reviewing his file, investigators found he was arrested for robbery in 2014. The case was later dismissed. The sheriff says Ramos was hired under a previous administration.
Sick and tired of being embarrassed by people that should have never been allowed to set foot in this building. And yesterday's arrest was a perfect example.
Salazar says under current, stricter hiring standards, Ramos would never have been hired. A Chinese scientist who helped create the world's first gene-edited babies, now behind bars. A court sentenced Ha Zhenghuai to 3 years in prison for altering the DNA of 3 babies before birth when they were embryos. He will also have to pay a fine. The scientist claimed he altered the DNA to reduce the risk of them contracting HIV, but his claim led to backlash from the international medical community. A wanted Florida man gave himself away with an Instagram live video. Sheriff's deputies were able to locate the man while he was live streaming. They surrounded the home and the suspect eventually surrendered. He was wanted on weapons charges and grand theft auto. Microsoft is suing North Korea-linked hackers for targeting users in the U.S. The tech company claimed hackers went after Microsoft users by impersonating the company. Those hackers are accused of tricking people into offering up passwords and other sensitive information. Caught on camera in Massachusetts, a car wash turns into a car crash. The driver of a pickup truck somehow lost control and backed over a car in a self-service bay, crushing it. Investigators believe the truck pedal may have become pinned under a floor mat. The truck's driver and a woman in the car were treated with non-life-threatening injuries. Elon Musk says his giant tunnel under Las Vegas will be fully operational next year. The tunnel will connect the Las Vegas Convention Center to the Strip. Passengers will be transported via autonomous vehicles reaching speeds of 155 miles per hour. A man receives his father's long-lost Purple Heart at a ceremony here in San Antonio. Charles Cook was killed on December 1st, 1944, 5 days before his son, Forrest, was born. While he never knew his father, Cook says his mother kept his father's memory alive by saving all of his postcards and love letters from the war.
I have a lot of memorabilia of my father, his flag, and other medals, but I didn't have this original Purple Heart. So to get it back in the family is just tremendous.
To read more about these 9 stories, head to ksat.com/news at 9.